When you see this color, what does it make you think of? Maybe you think it's a pretty flower. Maybe it reminds you of a piece of a beautiful sunset. Well, it's neither one of those things. It's my face because of how embarrassed I am. I didn't know if I was going to talk about this. I slept on it overnight, but I just can't shake this feeling of ashamed and embarrassment and infuriated. I'm a huge sports fan. I watch the NFL every week. I watch every time slot on Sundays, Saturdays, Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, whatever day it is. I watch every NFL game. I watch a lot of Formula One. I watch a lot of NBA. But more than that, I am a diehard Colts fan. I've spent pretty much every Sunday of my life dedicating 4 hours to watching the Colts, good or bad, win or lose, whether we have Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning or Jacoby Brissett or whatever other random quarterback we have. I bleed blue just like Seth Erkins. I'm pretty sure the first words that came out of my mouth when I was a baby was Peyton Manning. I haven't missed a Colts game, not a single minute of a Colts game preseason, regular season, or postseason since before 2010 when I was like 13. Even when I was driving back from a trip to New York a couple weeks ago, the Colts were playing the Broncos, and I found a way to have the game on and listen to it so I didn't miss the game. And when I say I am so ashamed and embarrassed of the Colts right now, especially with the letter that Jim Irsay just put out, every year it's the same thing. Every year since Chris Ballard has taken over, it's always an excuse on why we aren't in the playoffs. There's always an excuse on why the Colts are just one step away. We're so close. We like our guys, all that kind of stuff. And it's just tiring and embarrassing being mediocre. Every year, we're good. We're going to be good. And then it ends up being 9-7, 9-8, 8-7, whatever it is. And we're a game or two away from the playoffs every year. And there's always going to be some kind of excuse. Chris Ballard's going to walk up to the press conference and say, man, we like our guys. It's hard to win in this league. Look, man, we're going to evaluate everybody. It's going to be hard decisions. And then nothing changes. Nothing. No coaches will change. Nothing in the front office will change. Nothing in the medical staff, the training staff, nothing will change. And then we'll run it back next year just like we have the last 4 years. And when we get to the end of the season and it's 9-8 again, he's just going to go, we were close. We're going to evaluate everybody. We're going to take a hard look, make some hard decisions, and again, nothing will change. I just want to go through the letter that Jim Irsay had put out for Colts fans. It says, Dear Colts fans, as we close out the season, I can't tell you how disappointed I am that we failed to win the AFC South and earn a playoff appearance. He might be disappointed, but it's not that bad because he's not going to change anything. Chris Ballard has not won the AFC South once since he has taken over the team in 2017. That's 8 years. He's had 8 years. That's more years than I spent in college because I spent 7 years for a 4-year degree. He has had more time with the Colts than I have in college, and I have more to show for it than him. And every year, it's always the same excuse. In 2017, Andrew Luck was injured, so he had to get Jacoby Brissett as an emergency. Fine. 2018, he had Andrew Luck, went to the playoffs. 2019, Luck retired. Still not over that. That's a whole different conversation. So then we scrambled, didn't make the playoffs. 2020, we got Phillip Rivers, took us to the playoffs. And then it was Phillip Rivers retired, Carson Wentz, no playoffs. Matt Ryan, no playoffs. Anthony Richardson, no playoffs. Anthony Richardson a second time, no playoffs. There's a high standard in the city. No, there's not anymore. That standard is gone. That standard that we hold as fans, we still have that, but the team doesn't hold that standard anymore. There's a high standard in the city for our team and anyone who steps on the field wearing the horseshoe. Again, no, there's not. And I'll get to that, but there's a couple things that the players wearing the horseshoe do not hold that standard anymore. The expectation is to win our division and compete for championships. Like every football team, they're always going to say that, but some teams make moves for it. We do not. Just being on the doorstep of the playoffs is not the standard I expect, nor what you deserve. Just stating the obvious, he's not going to do anything. We understand that and always accept the challenge. Keeping Chris Ballard, keeping Shane Steichen, keeping Gus Bradley, keeping Jim Bob Cooter, keeping the training staff, keeping the medical staff, keeping everything just means you're just going to run it back. Nothing changes. Believe me, I know you share my impatience and frustration. I know you invest your time, energy, and money into the Colts every year. More than anything, we want to reward you with division titles and playoff runs, and we've fallen short in the most painful way possible. But things evolve quickly in the NFL from week to week and season to season, so I will never stop being optimistic that this team can take the next step. I've been evaluating our entire operation, and I believe and Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen and our collective ability to make improvements needed to take us to the next level in 2025. This is the part that has me embarrassed and ashamed of being a Colts fan. Chris Ballard has had 8 years to make a difference with this team. He is afraid to spend money in free agency. He is unwilling to make moves with draft picks. He will never trade up. He will only trade back. He will never, ever fight for a player. He has a collective record of 62, 69, and 1 tie in 8 years. He has 0 division titles. I saw the lanyard from the Colts' last division title in 2014, and I refuse to change it until they get a new one. He has had plenty of chances to change the organization, to make the moves. He's made decent moves. He's drafted some good players, some that didn't work out, such as drafting a quarterback who has played 1 full season in the NFL in 2 years and is always injured, or drafting a cornerback with the next pick in that same draft last year in Juju Brents, who played a couple games last year, got injured, played 1 game this year, got injured, came back and got injured again. I don't think he has a high enough standard to be a general manager. He lets things go by. He is unwilling to make the moves necessary. You have to spend money and take risks in order to be a good football team, and Chris Ballard is not. And running it back next year, it's going to be very, very hard for me to watch any Colts game. I know fans who want an immediate change in leadership will be disappointed. That means we all have a lot to prove, so we all can get back to work and keep doing what we can to earn your support and make you proud to be a Colts fan. Sincerely, Jim Irsay. I'm no longer proud to be a Colts fan. I love the Colts. Again, like I said earlier, I've never missed a Colts game in my adult life. I didn't miss any Colts games in my high school life. I probably didn't miss a couple while I was in middle school too. If we run it back, I think I miss Colts games next year. I don't think I can continue to support a Colts team that is just okay with being mediocre. We're going to look at the record of the Colts since Chris Ballard has been here. 4-12, 10-6, 7-9, 11-5, 9-8, 4-12, 9-8, 8-9. 2 runs to the playoffs, 1 singular playoff victory against the Texans with Andrew Luck, a close loss to the Bills in 2020 where Hot Rod missed a field goal. 8-9, 9-8, 9-8, 7-9. All of those, he comes to the press conference after the season ends, missing the playoffs, and goes, "We're so close. I like our guys. We have a good core. But the core that we have obviously is not making the playoffs." And then let's get to the core. We have a supposed team leader and team captain acting like a fucking bum. Here we see Zaire Franklin, who is a team captain, fake handshakes with an empty VIP booth behind the end zone where Pat McAfee used to sit. Over the past couple weeks, Pat McAfee has been very outspoken against the Colts and some of the decision makings that they have. He has staged a protest and not using the VIP suite that he had reserved for the past couple of years. And that has started a feud with one of our team leaders in Zaire Franklin, who is a middle linebacker. The Colts beat the 4-12 Jaguars yesterday. And as some kind of gesture, Franklin goes over and fake handshakes nobody in McAfee's suite. Like this tweet says, is just very indicative of where the team leadership is with this Colts team. It's just awful. And Zach Pauley says, "This is the type of loser shit Pat McAfee was talking about. Quote unquote, captain of the Colts going over to McAfee's suite to pretend to shake their hands. None of the McAfee group was there. Guess this is the type of culture we as Colts fans just have to put up with now. Pathetic." And I agree. This is pathetic because he's probably going to go on to his podcast with EJ Speed and talk about how good they did and see how many tackles I got. I even iced the game in overtime, when in reality, it was against the 4-11. When in reality, the Jaguars were 4-12 with a backup quarterback and a coach that was about to get fired. Somebody on Reddit fixed Jim Irsay's letter to tell us how he really feels. "Dear Colts fans, as we close out the season, I can't tell you how to win the AFC South and earn a playoff appearance. This team and anyone who steps on the field wearing the horseshoe is ass. The playoffs is not what you deserve, understand, and always accept. You are my rat. I invest your time, energy, and money into the Colts every year. And more than anything, we want to reward you in the most painful ways possible." That's how I feel. I love the Colts, but now I'm embarrassed and ashamed. And it seems that Irsay is really dead set on running them back. The same core, the same coaches, the same front office, so nothing's going to change. I'll probably see you again in 365 days when the Colts are sitting at 9-8, and I'm going to say the exact same thing. All right. Goodbye.